Hello and welcome to another episode of Spectrum Drama, where we take a look at the hottest posts on Spectrum for the week and give our opinions on them. Just a quick note before we get going, thanks to everyone who has commented on our videos over the past month. We're going to tally those up and we're going to announce the winner of the Grey Cat Buggy over the weekend. So more than likely Saturday, but we'll keep you posted. And yeah, good luck to everyone and let's get started. Okay, so first up we've got a post from Whitesnake, and it says, clarification on question in RTV, new flight experience thread. So basically this was is a clarification on a question that was actually put to Reverse the Verse. The question is, will fighters have the acceleration to rotation rate ratio necessary to maintain an angular advantage against one another, thereby enabling positional combat? You can read this by all means. It is quite technical. I understood most of it, and I'm not a smart man, but yeah, definitely read the whole thing. I'm going to give you a breakdown. Now, this is actually a comment from Creon. Basically says, to all the people that read what Whitesnake described above and are scratching their heads, in Star Citizen, you fly spaceships with a lot of guns, and in space rotation, aka guns on target, is very cheap. So what Whitesnake is asking is, if on the new flight model, from the plethora of ships we have, will there be a reason for a player to choose a smaller, less armed fighter, Gladius, than the meta ship, Saber, that has the best ratio of rotation, strafing, hardpoints, etc. from any other fighter in the game? Will a player have the ability to break out of a tough situation on a small Aurora, as he could do in the past, if he doesn't want to continue the fight with a bigger ship? Will there be a point, basically, to choose between a light, medium, heavy fighters in Star Citizen? What's your takeaway from this?
Good question. Yeah, that's about it really. There's a big wall of text there, and my eyes start to glaze over a little bit. But I get what he's trying to ask. Yeah. I mean, it would be nice to know, but we should have the new flight model in Evocati testing within a week, maybe. So, and we've got what, 3.5 in just over a month. No, it's a month now. It will be. Yeah. So he should get some of his answers within that time. Whether CIG are actually going to be able to answer this question in Reverse the Verse into a satisfactory level, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, it is a lot to read, but it's definitely worth reading. I mean, I kind of get the point of it, you know, the ability to be able to stay, especially with the way that guns are set up on most of the ships, the ability to kind of keep your guns, your face, essentially pointing at your target, and vice versa. Yep. So you get these kind of epic dogfights. I mean, if you look at you know, most air battles that aren't in space, obviously, you know, because they don't technically hover, they have to do flybys, and that is the problem that you'll have if your rotation rate is essentially too slow, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But obviously, if your rotation rate is way too high, then you're literally going to be able to just keep your nose pointed at your target regardless of their distance and speed. So it's kind of defeats the purpose. So they want to get that kind of happy medium, you know, where it's still a challenge to kind of keep your guns on target, but it's doable, and probably more doable in a smaller, more agile ship. So it will be interesting to see what they do. It'd be interesting to see what CIG actually say, if they do say anything about this. I'd like to see if their science matches Whitesnake's, because it's quite impressive actually. You know, he's got some formulas and stuff in there, so yeah, it would be really cool to see what their response is. But let's see what happens with the flight model. Hopefully it's you know, it like you say, answers the questions.
Yeah, if they tune it too little, it's going to end up just jousting, which nobody really wants. And if they tune it too much, it's going to be like a first-person shooter.
Yeah, it's going to be like a battle royale with these crazy twitch muscles, and it's just going to be who's got the fastest wrist action. So yeah,
Hopefully they get a good medium.
Yeah, fingers crossed they can kind of get something right down the line that just kind of keeps it fun but difficult. I mean, like you said, the last thing we want is just literally just going meow past each other every 2 seconds trying to shoot. It just it wouldn't work. I mean, you already have it in a couple of the smaller ships where their rotation is crazy, like someone flies by you and you can kind of keep target on them. Doesn't matter what distance they are, even if they're 20 feet from you, because the rotation on them is just insanely quick. Whereas I'm used to flying like a freelancer, where the rotation on that is about 2.5 days. So but then that's why I'm assuming you've got turrets, so whilst you're trying to get yourself lined up again, your turret is 360 movement. So it's an interesting idea. So,
that's part of the thing they're doing, isn't it? They're trying to make I'll say gunship, but it's not really a gunship. A large ship with turrets. They're trying to make them so they're a bit more turret dependent, if you will. But turret gameplay still needs some work on it. So large ships might be in for a bit of a bad time.
Yeah, definitely. If you've got that terrible mix of sort of like sluggish flight and terrible turrets, you're basically you're gonna have a bad time. So well, let's we're not far off now. So like I said, you're a month away from that being a release, and obviously not far off actually having it in people's hands, see what this new flight model actually does, and hopefully we hear from Whitesnake again. He can come back and let us know how the new flight model actually impacts kind of what he's figured out so far, and it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Cool. So next up, we've got a post from Stadulator. Stadulator. That's a weird name.
That is a name and a half.
Yeah. The Stadulator. And it says, I found this rather exciting. The return of mag boots. So basically, boarders and wreck divers rejoice. The return of mag boots and added features of letting us walk on walls, push-pull mechanics, etc. Long ago mentioned as part of the Satyr Ball, part of the Star Marine module, which has been scrapped. Add to this the gem of being able to turn off suit thrusters for the ultimate stealth approach. It's a ways away. We're 3.8, I believe it is for this, so it is still quite a ways away. But how cool to be able to like wander about on the outside of ships, and awesome.
Yeah, it would be definitely good. They kind of said that they were thinking about it, but nothing was sort of decided. And then it just appeared on the roadmap, like 3.8, which is going to be like December time.
Nice Christmas present.
Yeah. It'd be quite good for salvaging as well, being able to walk around on wrecks and dripping bits off by hand, or placing demo charges to break pieces off. It'd be quite cool.
Yeah, definitely. I like that kind of idea of sort of being able to like clamp down and just go for a wander, because having the ability to kind of float around is really cool, but sometimes it's either wildly inaccurate or dangerous. The amount of times I've gone a little too quick into something, it's I mean, I think I'm pretty sure both of us have died whilst EVAing. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I think mine was inside that first PI mission station. Was it Corvalex Trading?
Yeah, I remember.
Hit something on my leg and it ripped my leg off almost and killed me.
You come flying through the entrance. I remember that, and there was like a floating box or something, and like you literally just crippled yourself. So yeah, it's tricky, but yeah, I love the idea of that, especially like, for example, that space station. Being able to float around is cool, but being able to suddenly just drop down, mag boot, and wander just seems awesome. And yeah, I really do. I do hope that isn't too difficult for them to do, and it just comes out as they plan, you know. Well, it's quite funny actually, because if you read some of the comments, you can kind of see the way people's minds are working, and pretty much everyone is looking at this as like a devious act. You know, you're going to basically have people stowing away on ships, you know, like, you know, trying to lock themselves to the tops of ships and waiting for you to come back and open them and all that kind of stuff. And that will happen. There are going to be douchebags who use them nefariously, but you know, I mean, good luck if you plan on sticking to the outside of my ship while I'm exiting atmosphere. Good luck with that.
Yeah, or going into quantum jump.
Yeah, I'd love to see what your face looks like when we come out of quantum jump. There'll just be a pair of boots left. Okay, so next up we've got a post from Rinsler Black, and it says, the delay of salvaging. I personally don't mind that salvaging is being pushed back. I'd rather they actually build it proper, then step it up from there. Unfortunately, there are some steep barriers since this profession factors in. There's a very, very large list of things that need to be factored in for salvaging. I'll give you some examples. Ships, fully persistent, procedurally generated wrecks. You know, you've got things like the utility hardpoints. They need to obviously be functioning before we can use some of the salvaging drones or cutting tools. Drones, you know, things that we need. Definitely check the whole post out, because there's quite a few different examples of what we're going to need. Tractor beams and stuff like that. I kind of do like the fact that maybe it seems like a very big mechanic, this one, because the scope of salvaging is quite big, and I kind of do hope that they get it right, because I think that's going to be such an I mean, mining's pretty straightforward, but this is going to be the bread and butter, I think, for a lot of people. So I really do hope that they get it right.
Yeah, I don't completely agree with his full list here. I mean, yeah, eventually we're going to need all of this, but a lot of these I can't imagine them being in the first iteration. No. Stuff like exploration, like being able to do long-range scans for salvage, and being able to transfer locations to other players. Yeah. I can't see that being in. Missions probably won't be in. They didn't do that for mining. What else we got here? Fuel harvesting probably won't be factored into salvaging quite yet. Yeah. But the main ones, like persistent ships, components and subcomponents, utility points and hard points, things like that. Yeah, definitely. But some of the more intricate parts of this probably won't be seen for a fair while. Yeah, I can foresee the kind of first iteration coming out with kind of the bare minimum to kind of get us going, and then they'll slowly build on that over time. Because I think that's the other thing as well. I mean, this is virgin territory, you know, because there's not many games that have done it in such a large scale, salvaging in space. So it's going to be one of those things where it's trial and error. They're going to put it out, we're going to test it, it's going to break a lot, probably, and you know, and it's just going to, you know, rinse and repeat until all of these little factors that he's got kind of do eventually filter their way in. But I think it's definitely going to take a while before that entire list is, you know, is something we can say is in the game. But yeah, definitely it's going to be a big work in progress, I think, salvaging. Okay, so last up we've got a post from Cameral, and it says, Cameral's more stealth tests, stealth bug exploit and testing suppress overall IR. So basically, Cameral has kind of tested out different loadouts and stuff like that for the detection, stealth detection, and the long and short of this is gun loadout does affect detection range, suppressing overall IR doesn't, weirdly enough, and currently in the game there is a stealth bug which people are exploiting. We won't go into the details here, but you can check out the issue council post on this, and it will give you some ideas of how this works. It's probably been used against you by now already anyway, so yeah. But
You know, that's basically the way of the world at the minute. But yeah, so that's pretty much kind of what the post is about. I mean, we've tested stealth and it was a bit hit and miss, wasn't it?
So in a lot of our ship reviews, we will mention different loadouts for that ship. And sometimes we mention about reducing your signature so you don't get detected as much. And it's good to see that he's actually tested this out and he's confirmed that the ship loadout does affect detection range.
Yeah.
Good job.
Definitely good job.
Yeah, this stealth bug, which he brings up, is a bit of a nasty one. As you say, not really going to go into it, but yeah, there is a bug where you do something and it reduces your detection range by a ridiculous amount. Yeah. And people have been using this at Jumptown to sort of snipe people without them seeing. Yeah, there is an issue council report, so feel free to contribute to it. It needs to get squished very quickly.
Definitely. I mean, the idea of having, you know, a ship that's sort of, you know, 1,500, 2,000 meters from you with rockets that is technically invisible to you unless you're looking for it. That's a hell of a bug. You know, these ships should, in theory, be able to see these things from 7, 8, you know, 1,000 meters away. So yeah, it's a bit cheeky, and I do hope that they can squash it pretty quick because you know, I think that's what actually, if you watch back our stream where we went down to Jumptown, just pissed about basically, I got one shot by a Freelancer Max that was just massively over kitted out. It was obviously used, it was taking advantage of the other bug, which is to you know, being able to fit any size weapons. But also he did not show up on my scanner at all, and then all of a sudden I got hit by a rocket out of nowhere, and that was corroborated by Alex. So yeah, it's I think it's definitely something that people are using, especially around Jumptown, so be super careful. Okay, so there you have it. That's our posts for the week. We hope you liked them, and we hope you liked our opinions on them. If you've got any opinions of your own, then drop them down in the comments section below. We love to chat to you guys about these things. And don't forget that we will be announcing the winner of our Grey Cat competition, our February competition, our Lovers competition. Is it too late for that now? End of February? Yeah. But yes, don't forget, we will be announcing that this weekend. And good luck to everyone, and thanks so much for all the comments. It's really, really cool to kind of have all that feedback from you guys and letting us know what you think of the reviews. You know, it's really helpful to us. So thanks very much, and we will see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.